Hi, glad you could join me. So it's been a long time since the last time I came to you. And getting back on the grill, I thought we could just look at something briefly. The back three. A lot was said about the system of playing the back three. Is it a back three? Is it a back five? How does it work? What are some of the characteristics that you find in there? What are some of the advantages and the disadvantages of using, playing on a back three? In this video, just under maybe 5 to 7 minutes, I'm going to try and look at the facts around the back three and also the basic features of the back three in terms of your attack, in terms of your defense. I'll also look at key areas in terms of the transitions around the back three, and then later, maybe in another video, I'm going to look at the advantages and the disadvantages of using these formations. What are some of the areas that you could exploit, and what are some of the areas that you could actually build on as far as the back three is concerned. So some of the facts around the back three are that it has been used for a long time. Actually, there are certain moments when the back three has been used. Sometimes, early in the 1990s or something, that was commonly used, especially in European countries such as West Germany. Then the Italians used it. You would remember in the early 90s as well, Johan Cruyff's Barcelona Dream Team used that system as well, playing on a back three. In more recent memory, I think you would want to go back to Antonio Conte at Chelsea. He used that system as well, playing on a back three. And then locally in Zambia, I think we saw Prison Leopards attempt to use the back three last season in some patches. And also Nkana at some point adopted the back three. So what is it really about the back three? What are some of the features of the back three? Now, I think first of all, it's evenly balanced in terms of what it can offer you both on the offensive and also on the defensive, and then it also gives you a lot of room to be creative in between there. Also, the other key thing that you'd want to look at is that whenever a team knows or hears that they're going to be playing a team that plays on a back three, then trust me, they are going to start reorganizing. And so in a lot of ways, it helps you to get into the thought process of the other team and also tries to force them to reorganize. When we talk about the back three, what are we trying to talk about really? In terms of defense, the first thing that it offers you, I think it offers you a certain level of rigidity, which helps you maintain a very good shape at the back. So you have these three players that are protecting the goal scoring area. These three sometimes can be a situation where you have one slightly behind the two and is also playing what you would call a sweeper role. And then at times you have just a straight three at the back protecting the goal scoring area. The goal scoring area is basically the area that is just above the 18-yard box. But what are the benefits that you are going to get from that three? I think first of all, it helps you to protect the goal scoring area, like I said earlier on. Then it also helps in terms of concentration of numbers. Now, one of the principles in defense is that there has to be concentration in numbers. In the key areas where you're likely to be hit, you need the good concentration of numbers, and that system exactly helps you to do that exactly, because it protects the area where most of the goals are scored from. You realize that yes, a few goals might be scored from long range, but most of the times when goals are scored, people have to concentrate on that goal scoring area, and so those three will help you protect that area. And then in a lot of ways, I think that it helps you to stay narrow, to stay narrow where it matters the most. The next thing that you'd want to look at in terms of what it offers you as far as defense is concerned is that it closes the channels. Now, generally, the thought for most teams when they play a team that is playing a back three is that they think that it's easier to get balls into the wide areas where the so-called spaces are. But trust me, trying to get the ball into those areas from the midfield, it becomes very difficult. It's easier to get the balls into those areas if you are going to start from, maybe a long diagonal from the back. But if you've built up into the midfield and trying to get balls into those areas, it's very difficult because you have the buffer of the three defenders, one this side and the other defender this side. The other thing that you'd want to look at is that it helps you to easily manage the half spaces. If you play a team that is playing, a 4-4-2, you realize that there are a lot of half spaces that are going to pop up. But the presence of the three defenders, the two defenders, especially the guys that are in the sides of the one that is central, helps you manage the half spaces better. And so I think it becomes easier for you to manage that space. The other thing that it does for you in the defensive areas is that it gives you a lot of compactness between the banks. Now the banks are these lines that you hear, maybe is it 3-1-4-2 or 4-3, those are the banks. Now what happens usually, depending on how you set up, let's say for example you've set up in a 3 5 to where that 5 is made up of 1 just sitting right in front of the 3 center backs. It offers you a lot of banks and closeness in terms of the bank. It means you're going to have bank 1, which has got 3 defenders, bank 2, which has got this 1 player sitting at the base. You have bank 3 of the 4 across the line, and then you also have bank 4 of the 2 sitting at the top. Now that gives you 4 banks, and trust me, breaking down those banks to get to their goal is really going to be a tough period, as you can see maybe in the graphics that that you're able to see at the moment. And then it also gives you a certain level of a high level of numbers at the back, if you like, because yes, it seems you are playing on the back on the back 3, but trust me, the moment your wing backs drop, they become full backs, then it gives you 3 plus 2 already. That gives you a 5. And then if you want to be more protective, you can also drop 2 of your midfielders to come and and play in the middle. Then it makes them a 5, and also that increases your chances of a team having a very good solid base. Moving on, in terms of attack, what are some of the things that it offers you? A back 3 offers you an option to play, to start the ball from the back, in terms of gives you more options for a rollout. Now, when a team is playing on a 4-4-2, usually the rollout will basically start most likely from either of the 2 that are playing in the wide areas, or sometimes a 6. But in this case, it will give you an option of either starting with any of the 3, any of the 2 that are sitting in front of them, or even the one that is sitting in front of them. And at times you can actually start from the fullback, because remember, the fullback will start in a very high position, so it gives you an option of about 6-7 options that where you can start from, as compared to a 4-4-2, maybe a back 4, which may only give you maybe 3, or is it 4 options. This one gives you about 5 options already. That is, I think, a good something good that it helps you. It also helps you in terms of if you choose to build up, because you have a lot of numbers, and remember, a lot of numbers will help you to build up. It also helps you, I think, to keep the opposition guessing, in terms of they are not going to know if they are going to press you high. They are not going to know if they should probably go for a medium press, because of the many numbers that you have at the back. And after all, if you have a lot of numbers and you allow them to come, then it helps you to hit them long if you like. And so most of the times it keeps your opposition guessing in terms of how they are going to engage you defensively. And I think for me that works well with this formation. The other thing that this formation, playing on the back 3, just playing on the back 3 offers is that it offers you a lot of triangles. Now remember, football is all about triangles. When you play in the back 3, as you can see maybe in the graphic, you are probably going to have when you play in the back 4, as you can see in this graphic, you are probably going to have maybe that's about there's angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, maybe that's a maximum of probably 4 triangles which you can use to play the ball. But when you play on the base of a back 3 and maybe 1 or 2 midfielders at the base, it gives you about 7 angles, as you can see in this graphic. Now the more triangles you have, the easier it becomes for you to play. Remember, football is played in triangles. Anyway, you're going to make progress as you play in these triangles, and so it gives you a lot of triangles on which you can rely going forward, from the back. The other thing that it gives you is that there's a lot of directness, I think, around this formation, because you have your fullbacks are always going to start very high. Remember what I said earlier on. And so the moment you have the ball, even the goalkeeper can easily hit them. What that means is that it helps a team to get into the opposing half as early as possible, or as soon as possible. And so in a few seconds you're already in the opposing half, and you begin to cause problems from there. The key thing as well, especially in the modern game, is that it gives you a lot of chance to create a lot of overloads. What are these overloads that we're talking about? So if your wide forward has gone in, it will help him to tack in, so that your fullback can go in and join in the attack, and then you probably have someone from the midfield coming in to join, and so that helps you create an overload on the wide areas. Equally, overloads can be created in the middle, especially remember those half spaces I talked about. And sometimes if you are playing against a team that is playing a 4-4-2, they have 2 center backs, but then when you bring your 2 wide players in together with your central player, your central attacker, it means you're going to create overload of 3v2 in the middle, and it gives you a lot of joy. You could have seen a lot of this in more recent memory, like I spoke about that Chelsea team where Diego Costa was supported by an Eden Hazard and sometimes a Pedro, and so they created a lot of those overloads in the middle, and they really punished a lot of teams. So the thing that it offers you as far as the overloads are concerned is that you're going to utilize the half spaces better, and in the modern game, the more you utilize the half spaces, the better your team is going to do. And then maybe finally, in terms of the transitions, in summary, when in the negative transition, I think it helps you to be compact enough, and in a positive transition it helps you to be progressive enough and expressive enough. And so I thought that those could just be the basics that we would look at in terms of playing a back three. Now a back three can be supported by either a 4 in the middle, a 5 in the middle. It basically depends on what you wish to do, but what I was looking at today is basically what you're going to be offered when you play on a back three in terms of the basic structure that it is going to ask you to put up in terms of your defense, in terms of your attack, as well as the two forms of transitions, those being the negative and offensive. I hope you found this informative. I hope you found this educative. Let me get your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this, and also join me next time when we look at maybe another variation of the back three in terms of the advantages and the disadvantages, and anyway, as we look at other topics around the beautiful game. Until then, bye bye and God bless.